I'm in the top 4% in my market. The only thing I do is networking, social media, REDX. That's it.
And I've got Joe Rosen, who's been on the show, been with us before as a live prospector, and he's always among some of the best people in the industry. He does what everybody should do, which is surround themselves with the best in order to become the best. And so that's why he's back here with us. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Joe Rosen.
It's my pleasure, my man. Staying busy lately. When it comes down to it, the most efficient, effective thing you can do is voice to voice. And, cold calls for some people is tough. Right now, you can't do door knocking.
Right.
You need to be on the phones, period. Like there just isn't another option. And when you make the calls, as always, but now more so than ever, the intent isn't, hey, can I help you buy or sell a house? The intent is, what's going on in your world right now? And you don't even have to ask them, because honestly, they're going to tell you. They're going to just let things flow out of their mouth, and they're going to tell you exactly what their problems are. And your only response is to listen like you would want to be listened to, and to ask them how you can help. Forget about real estate for the next 4 or 5 weeks. Just literally help people, and they're going to come to you and ask, hey, I need to sell my house. Right now is the time to be a leader in your community. Don't be the question asker, be the question answerer. And that doesn't mean you know the answers. It means you're going to seek the answers out, and you're going to go and make everybody's life amazing by answering all their questions proactively without them coming directly to you. You just saw a need and you filled that need by giving them a solution. You're going to come out of this as the person who's the go-to person, not just when it comes to real estate, but when it comes to anything. That's who you want to be. I really think it's important to limit the amount of time that you're watching the news, because that news is going to bring you right down, man. So, you got to stay connected, but holy smokes, make sure you limit it. So where am I finding my sources? Get into all the real estate groups on Facebook. There are 5, 6, 7 huge real estate groups that I'm in that have multiple thousands of people in each. There's a ton of not just agents in there, but these are agents who are actually doing it. So you've got the top 5, 10, 15% of agents in that group, and these guys are putting a lot of great information in there. My opinion is your intent needs to be to help, and you can build a script around that 3,000 different ways, right? So I don't like giving scripts. I do post a lot of my cold call videos so people can see what I do, but I want you to take it and make it your own so you're comfortable with it. Usually what I'll say is, hey, it's Joe with eXp Realty. We talked 2 months ago, and you'd said that you were interested in selling your house. There's a lot going on right now. I just want to follow up and see, how are you doing? How are those plans? What can I help you with? And then I just shut up and I listen. I'll give you 4 examples of me delivering what a lot of people would consider as unique help to people, right?
I'd love to hear it.
So number 1 is, if you're calling people and they're talking about, hey, I lost my job, or hey, I didn't lose my job, but I'm not getting paid until I go back to work, you can tell them, listen, you know that you can call up your lender and you can either reduce your payments from now until, whenever, or you can defer those payments. Would you like me to look up the number that you'd have to call with your particular lender, and I'll email it to you? Now I'm providing help, because you don't have to look up that number. I'll look up that number, but I need your email. So now I can put you on my weekly email through Constant Contact, and I can stay in touch with you. Or number 2, you can offer a market analysis. People are worried, what's my home worth right now? This is some crazy stuff going on. So I will hit the record button on my screen from my house. I can look up all their information on the Coney website, and I can say, okay, this is how many square feet you have. This is your age. This is the development you're in. I'm going to go through. Let me open up the MLS. Okay, I'm looking within 1.25 miles of your house. I'm looking up all this stuff, and they're seeing what I'm seeing as I'm doing it live. It's all recorded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I upload that to YouTube. I make it an unlisted link, and then I can share that link with them. But hey, I can't share it unless I get your email address. Now I get their email address. I can stay in contact with them for the rest of their lives. So here's the third thing. Weekly market stats emailed throughout this crisis, because what happened last week is different than what's going to happen this week, which is different than what's going to happen next week. And once this whole thing passes, you don't know what those next 5, 10, 15 weeks are going to look like. So, hey, Mr. Potential Seller, would you like it if I sent you specific market stats to show you how many houses are going pending? Are the numbers going up or down, or are they staying stagnant? I'll give you those numbers, and I'm going to give them to you from the perspective of someone who's concerned about this market. Would you like that? Cool. Give me your email address. send it to you weekly. People want that. The fourth thing is I've connected older folks to delivery services. They don't want to go out. They don't want to be around people. So I know people who will run errands for you. I know people who will pick up groceries and bring it to your house. Once you find those people, I just say, hey, I got 3 people who do this, this, and this. Would you like it if I emailed you their information, and you can call them whenever you'd like, and they can help you out in this time right now. But listen, those are just 4 I just came up with in the last couple days. Some of this stuff is proactive, but a lot of this is I hear the problem, I create the solution. When you're a buyer and you close on a house with me, I come over a couple days later, again, a great excuse to get in front of your clients 3 days later, maybe ask for a Google review or a Zillow review. And I bring over, I don't think I have one right now, a laminated sheet, and it's got all the people that you might want as a new buyer. It's got, hey, use Jesse as your painter. Hey, use Jeff as your tax accountant. Hey, and it'll say, use Joe's name, get 10% off. Use Joe's name, get $100 off. And so it's got this whole sheet of all the people that I love and trust. And I always give it to the people and I say, hey, you're going to ask me for referrals over the next 6 to 12 months, but here's the cheat sheet, man. Here's all the answers to most of the questions you're going to have. And if you use my name, you're going to get a discount. Another way is when you're in these moms groups and everybody's saying, hey, I need a painter right now. I've trained my group to go on, like have Jesse the painter's card saved. Say, Jesse is a great painter. I've recommended him numerous times and everybody has been phenomenally happy. He's professional. He's always on time. Great communicator. I love Jesse. Then you post his card. Then you reply to that and you take 3-4 more people in our group and say, hey, Angel, Sandy, Tom, and Bob, don't you agree that Jesse's the best? And then they start posting cards saying, yes, 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 yes. And now we take over the groups. And everyone in those groups uses everyone in my networking group. But what does that do for you? Like, I got it. You're helping other people. Well, listen, when they say, what realtor am I using? Jesse and Angel and Bob and Tom and all those people who I've been recommending over and over and over, they post my card 1 million times on those posts. So guess who gets all the phone calls as the realtor? So it goes both ways, man. But if you focus on just helping others and forget about you, it always pays dividends, always. Last week, I got 4 pending. I was at an inspection today. I was at an inspection 2 days ago. I'm personally staying busy. But 2 days ago, I looked up 3 3-day periods. The one 3-day period that was closest was hot. Like Corona was hot, baby. The one before that, it was, and the one before that, we really hadn't heard about it locally, at least. And it had 15 pendings, 13 pendings, 22 pendings. So you could see a drop in those pendings, but I'm also seeing that listings are dropping. So I've seen that about 5-6% of our listings have dropped off. Now you've got all the motivated sellers in there. And when you look at the buyers still in, it's not the unmotivated buyers, it's the buyers who need to buy. So you've got motivated buyers, motivated sellers. Here's the problem. The problem is the perception. The problem is the perception of the buyer is, I can come in 20, 30, 40 grand low because of Corona.
Right.
And sellers aren't having it. I've been in this market for 35 weeks. And when you look at my sales and pendings, I'm in the top 4% in my market. The only thing I do is networking, social media, and REDX. That's it. And that put me in the top 4% in 35 weeks. So when you ask about your sphere of influence, number one, my sphere of influence is 35 weeks old. That's a pretty young sphere of influence. But I picked my sphere of influence. So before I got down here, I sent out 7,000 Facebook requests in the 6 months prior to getting down here. That's all I did. And if you somewhere on your profile said that you lived in Port St. Lucie or you worked at a place that was in Port St. Lucie, you got a friend request. And it was about 55-60% of people that agreed to those friend requests. And then I had a 48-second video that I shot them in a DM. And it was just a very chumsy, like, hey, my name's Joe. I'm in the Army. I'm moving down. I don't know anything about Port St. Lucie. Can you tell, like, where should I live? What are the great restaurants? I really appreciate it. Anything you give me is great. It was very folksy, right? I sent that out to all of those people, and I didn't just get short answers back, man. I got DMs that were this long, and it was us going back and forth, and it was so friendly. And I built instant connections before I even got down here. I knew who the players were in this area before I got down here because people in those 7,000 Facebook requests with all those DMs were telling me. Then when I got down here, I built the biggest networking group there was. And that's how you build not only a sphere of influence, but a sphere of influence that actually has influence within a community.